Attention all you rule breakers, you misfits and troublemakers, all you free spirits and pioneers, all you visionaries and nonconformists. Everything the establishment has told you is wrong with you is actually what's right with you. You see things others don't. You are hardwired to change the world. Unlike 9 out of 10 people, your mind is irrepressible, and this threatens authority. You were born to be a revolutionary. You can't stand rules because in your heart you know there's a better way. You have strengths dangerous to the establishment, and it wants them eliminated. So your whole life you've been told your strengths were weaknesses. Now I'm telling you otherwise. Your impulsivity is a gift. Impulses are your key to the miraculous. Your distractibility is an artifact of your inspired creativity. Your mood swings reflect the natural pulse of life. They give you unstoppable energy when you're high, deep soulful insight when you're low. Been diagnosed with a disorder? That's society's latest way to deny its own illness by pointing the finger at you. Your addictive personality is just a symptom of your vast, underused capacity for heroic creative expression and spiritual connection. Your utter lack of repression, your wide-eyed idealism, your unmitigated open mind. Didn't anyone ever tell you? These are the traits shared by the greatest pioneers and visionaries, innovators, revolutionaries, procrastinators, and drama queens, activists on the social scene, space cadets, mavericks, philosophers, derelicts, business suits flying fighter jets, football stars and sex addicts, celebrities with ADD, alcoholics who seek novelty, first responders, prophets and saints, mystics, and change agents. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all affected by the way. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all attracted to the flame. You know in your heart there's a natural order, something more sovereign than any man-made rules or laws could ever express. And this natural order is called the way. The way is the eternal substrate of the cosmos. It guides the very current of time and space. The way is known by some as the will of God, divine providence, the Holy Spirit, the implicate order, the Tao, reverse entropy, light force. But for now, we'll simply call it the way. The way is reflected in you as the source of your inspiration, the source of your passions, your wisdom, your enthusiasm, your intuition, your spiritual fire, love. The way takes the chaos out of the universe and breathes life into it, giving it divine order. The way, when expressed by the mind, is genius. When perceived through the eyes, is beauty. When felt through the senses, is grace. When allowed into the heart, is love. Most people cannot sense the way directly, but then there are the wayseers, the keepers of the flame. Wayseers have an unexplainable knack for just knowing the way. They sense it in their very being. They can't tell you why or how they arrived at the right answer. They just know it in their core. They can't show their work, so don't ask. Their minds simply resonate with the way. When the way is present, so are they. While others are blind to it, and society begs you to ignore it, the way stirs you inside. Neurological repression blocks most people's awareness of the way. Censoring all thoughts and impulses from the unconscious is their prefrontal cortex, the Gestapo of the brain. Nothing which violates its socialized programming even gets through. But your mind is different. Your mind has been cracked wide open to the way by some miraculous genetic trait, some psychotropic chemical, or maybe even by the will of your own soul. Your brain's reward pathways have been hijacked, dopamine employed to overthrow the fascist dictatorship of your prefrontal cortex. Now your brain is free of repression, your mind free of censorship, your awareness exposed to the turbulent seas of the unconscious. Through this open doorway, divine light shines into your consciousness, showing you the way. This is what makes you a wayseer. 90% of human civilization is populated with those whose brains are blocked to the way. Their brains are hardwired to enforce the social programming indoctrinated since birth. Unlike you, they cannot break out of this programming because they have not yet experienced the necessary revolution of mind. These programmed people take social institutions and rules very seriously. Society is full of games programmed to keep people's minds occupied so they will not revolt. These games often cause sick fixations on peculiar protocols, power structures, taboos, and domination, all subtle forms of human bondage. This distinct form of madness is not only tolerated by the masses, but insisted upon. The programmed ones believe in rules so forcefully, they become willing to destroy anyone who violates them. Wayseers are the ones who call their bluff. Since wayseer minds are free to reject social programming, wayseers readily see these social institutions for what they are, imaginary games. Wayseers comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. Helping those who are lost in these games and refuse to help themselves is the calling of many wayseers. Since wayseers are the ones who keep contact with the original source of reality, they are able to disrupt societal conventions and even governments to realign humanity with the way. The wayseers are an ancient lineage, a kind of priesthood, carriers of the flame, ones in the know. There must always be wayseers to reform the dizzying, psychotic spinning wheels of society, giant mindless hamster wheels obscuring the pure blue sky, keeping humanity shackled in a darkened cage. So wayseers are called to shed light on the madness of society, to continually resurrect the timeless, transcendent spirit of truth. Wayseers reveal this divine truth by devoting themselves to the birth of some creative or disruptive act, expressed through art or philosophy, innovations to shake up industry, revolutions for democracy, coups that topple hypocrisy, movements of solidarity, changes that leave a legacy, rebellions against policy, spirit-infused technology, moments of clarity, things that challenge barbarity, watersheds of sincerity, momentous drives for charity. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all affected by the way. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all attracted to the flame. This is your calling, wayseer. You found your tribe. Welcome home.
Well, and welcome home, everyone. Welcome to Stories from the Heart, Justice Radio Network. And here we are again, back on Zoom, zooming on Zoom. So I am really glad to be here again. So welcome to Justice Radio Network and Stories from the Heart. And there we have Libby. Hi. Hey.
I was trying to find a link for wayseer, no legal name, and then I realized, no, can't do it. So yay! Oh, it's so nice to see everybody.
Yes, it's fantastic to be here.
Be back.
Yes, to be back, and I just felt that that is always a very, very inspirational recording to listen to recognize who we are. there's a lot in there that relates to most of us that are here listening to these sort of shows, because we really
So true.
do see things a different way, and we do see that some are so dependent on the system that they're willing to cling on to it to, you know, to back up the demands of the system, because if they were to let go of the system, I'm clenching my fist and I'm letting if they were to let go of the system, they'd be let going of their security. And this is something that I've talked about this week with Barb, is that we really recognize that to create and to manifest these things that we like to have, it's so much more possible when you let go of the need and the desire to have security, and to just put out possibilities. Wouldn't it be nice if I could do this? Wouldn't it be nice if I could do that? As opposed to, I need to do this, I need to have that, and have the other. When you can put it out in a way that you're okay with whatever happens, there's so many more positive things that come. And it's quite fascinating to watch them grow. And I know you've got some really good stories for us this week.
I do, but go on and share yours. And if you start getting blobby, I'll jump in too.
Right, do. And I do hope that I don't get blobby, simply because I don't have a proper microphone at the moment where I'm at. I've just got the microphone that's working on this little computer. So, but down the road, I'm going to dig out my proper microphone that I have. So we just want to keep this as clear as we can, and hopefully, you know, we won't be blobbing out like we were on Blobby. While I'm talking about Blobby, before I get into any of my stories, I just want to remind people, if they're kind of sharing with anyone, this recording is, as you all must know, anyone that's listening, it's right here, right now on Zoom. Links are always posted on justiceradionetwork.net. They are posted in the Stories from the Heart Skype room, and in the Legal Name Fraud Experiences and Discussions Facebook page. And then after this is over, we are posting an MP3 link to box.com. That link will be again posted in those two locations, the Skype room and the Stories from the Heart, the Legal Name Fraud Facebook page. Also, I'll always post it on the Justice Radio Network Facebook page. In addition, anyone can tune into Justice Radio Network on the Blog Talk Radio platform on a Thursday at the same time. So that's 5:30 Eastern, and then whatever time it is wherever you are. That will be a recording, so no call-ins then, but at least you get a second time to listen, and or a place that you're used to downloading from. And then finally, the other place I'm posting it up on is on Stories from the Heart YouTube channel. So you get to see our loveliness on there. So that is the way I'm putting it out at the moment, just to get it out as far as possible, and anyone can share it. But always links to everywhere, justiceradionetwork.net. So that shouldn't be too hard to remember. So as that's all being stated, we also have a chat in here in this room for anyone that's on the Zoom link. There's a chat down at the bottom. It's usually kind of orangey, and somebody's been chatting away in there already, so it's orange. So thank you, yes, and thanks for sharing those. The Waysir Manifesto is just a complete inspiration. Anybody that starts thinking out of the box, if you play that for them, they start to think, yeah, that's me, yeah. And that's why it's so wonderful at the end. He says, welcome home. And it's just I remember hearing that several years ago, and I'm like, yeah, it's not about people that get it like me, and it's really cool. So, well, I suppose just to share a little bit about what's been going on with me. Last time I was here on the show, I had just got here to Tucson, and I'd been on train for the best part of 3 days, having spent just one night in New Orleans, and that was fabulous. I think I said so. So since I've been here, I've been managing to spend some time with Barb. I've spent only time talking to her like on Skype and sort of interacting the usual way with Skype messages, Facebook posts, stuff and such like that. And she's done a lot of things to really help me and guide me along my way. And I'm just grateful beyond measure. And it just was a fantastic opportunity for me to sort of achieve quite a lot of things in one go, meet her in physical, give her a big old hug, spend time, have some lovely sort of spiritual wall chats, go places. We went to a beautiful play in the University of Arizona Theatre. It wasn't students performing in the play, but it was at the theatre in the University of Arizona. And it's a very interesting university. It's for a lot of arty kind of people. It's very much open in a lot more ways than most universities are to people who are very creative and artistic, and there's observatories there as well, and lots of really cool stuff. So Mark took me for a nice walk around there as well when I got here. And it's been really cool to be able to go and adventure around a new area. So I get on my old bikey and off I've gone, and I found my way to lots of really cool places, including there's a big park up at the mountains, and I found my way up there by way of Google Maps, and then I got myself onto this loop that I didn't even know was a bike trail, and it is, and it's fantastic. So then yesterday I went on it again. I went miles around it, and that was brilliant. And if anyone's interested in following my tales and pictures, those can be found on jollygoodsojourning.me. That's jollygood and SOJOURNING.me, jollygoodsojourning.me. And I've taken a bunch of pictures, and I actually tried to make a live video yesterday on Facebook, but I was a little bit lacking with my technology, which was my microphone wasn't working very well, A, because it seems like it doesn't work very well, and B, it was windy, and I can't quite tilt the camera up well enough to let people be able to see where I'm going. And it was brilliant, and with the mountains all around, it was really gorgeous. So I'm going to sort that out, because it's really fun doing videos on the bike. So I've just got to get to fit my phone holder, because I'll have to do it on the phone holder if I want to do live video. And the only way I can turn the video from looking ahead and looking at me is seemingly when I do the Facebook Live video. So I'm working all this stuff out. I've never done stuff like this before, and it's just definitely a lot of fun to interact with people. The first time I did the live video, it didn't occur to me anybody would be actually watching, and I got towards the end of it, and I suddenly like, oh no, there's loads of people watching. And it was like really funny when I had that realization that somebody was actually watching. It was like really funny. So this whole social media stuff is can be just so cool and so good, because that way we get to interact with each other. Like a few of us were chatting. I can see one of the little ones there with Ra. So many of us feel like out on a limb, and I find this whole ability to have these chats with all you lot and all over the world, when we're kind of feeling a little bit kind of like isolated with our weirdness. I mean, most of us kind of get on quite well being alone, but it's just so fun to share our stories. And again, this is what Stories from the Heart is about. And again, another thing I want to remind our family is that if we feel like having a chat here on Zoom, we can do that anytime. I mean, I know you can all do it amongst yourselves, those of you who kind of use Zoom, but it's the platform's here for any time anybody'd like to use it. So really, that's where I'm at the moment. I go back to North Carolina on I leave here on the 6th, that's next Thursday, so that's a week from tomorrow. I'm going to be arriving in New Orleans on the Friday night. So leave Thursday morning, get to New Orleans Friday night. I'm going to stay there Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, and leave on the train early on Monday morning. So that gives me 2 full days in New Orleans to get on my bike and twirl around there. So there'll be more pictures. And so that's going to be really fun. My little camera that I was using to do photos and videos died a death, so I've just bought a replacement on eBay for $25. So that hopefully is going to reach me here before I set off, because then I can do a lot more, because I can just hold that little camera and video and take pictures with it, whereas I can't do that with my phone, and I can't do that with my big camera. So I just enjoying sharing my journey, and I'm open to any suggestions, and also I'm really more than wanting to hear other people's journeys and adventures and what they're up to and what's going on and what they're manifesting and all that sort of stuff, because it's really, this is what this is about. It's about sharing our adventures and our stories, and whether they feel good or not at the time, it's just brilliant to share them and to share sort of the gems. Libby's the gem queen.
Well,
Pulling
I'm
the
going to
gem.
take that as yeah, I'm going to take that as an invitation to share my story, because what a
Yes, I'd
story.
love you to.
Um, last week's show, I was heading downhill. I wasn't feeling very good. My nose had lesioned out, and then Thursday it was progressively worse. And by Saturday, I was a mess. And on Sunday, I was still a mess. But on Sunday, I went and sat outside and asked the clouds or asked the universe, whoever, but I was looking at some beautiful clouds. How in the world did I attract this malady to myself? And I had cold sores up my nose, down up my upper lip. Oh, it was horrible. And so I realized I had bought bamboo sheets, new discounted bamboo sheets from a discount store. And there's a water shortage here, so I hadn't bothered to wash them. And when I made my futon up, my famous little futon up, I noticed there were gray tufts. Not a lot of them, but there were gray tufts around. And I had the thought, and this is what was the revelation. I had the thought, wow, wouldn't this be one heck of a way to do biological warfare on people? Stick stuff in sheets, because everybody gets new sheets, and for the most part, I don't think they wash them before they put them on their bed. But I would have normally, but I didn't. And I said to myself, now, Libby, come on, don't hold that thought. That you don't want that thought. Let it go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But every time I made my bed, and I make it frequently because it goes up and down, and I'd see the gray tufts, and that same thought would come up. And it wasn't until I asked myself, what did I do to attract this malady to me, when I realized I had been subconsciously reacting every time I saw the gray tufts. My own immune system was being affected because it was fear. It was fear-based. And the moment I had the revelation, my body started to heal. It was so amazing. And I had two witnesses, my roommates, to watch me change from being, my whole upper lip was swollen. I looked like a squirrel or rodent, something. It was just huge. And it slowly subsided. Now, I did make an onion, garlic, ginger, big soup, and I drank all of that, which is a very, very important remedy for whenever I'm sick. That's my go-to remedy. But healing the thoughts was finding those, what are those thoughts? And we all have them. And just to explore them, it's really like discovering a gem when you see, wow, even though I had dismissed the thought, like, no, 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 don't have that thought, it had still entered into my body, and I was still doing reflex thoughts about it. And now I think gray tufts, and I have no hackles that way. Now, I did wash those sheets. I did. I thought, okay, well, let's get those done too. But just amazing experience yet again to confirm our thoughts are so powerful. We are so powerful. And when we can get back in alignment with that, everything, including those gray tufts, are made from carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and all the other elements that exist on this planet. And yet everything is. Like, the other thing that happens is those strong smells people use. I'm in a city now, so I smell people's dryer sheets. I smell their perfume, this. And I've gotten, having been shifted around quite a bit this last 5 months, I've gotten used to having to deal with odors that I didn't prefer to have in my own house, and to transmute them. And so to see how toxic our thoughts are, and we've been programmed to be aware, scared of sugar, scared of trans fat, scared of vaccines, scared, I mean, and maybe rightfully so. These things are toxic. Like, I think I said somewhere that the tap water here is so potent that I can wash a floor that's grimy just with the tap water. I don't even have to add soap. And it gets brilliant white. It's like bleach is coming out of the tap. And so it's like, oh no. But what's really exciting is to know that all those elements are composed of elements from this planet. And that's how powerful we are. It's our own thoughts. Yeah, me too. I'm still scared of microwaves too, Mia. But what I've realized is when you go out to dinner, either to someone's house or to a restaurant, more likely than not, some of your food has been nuked. It's just faster for people to nuke food. So if we know we can transmute it anyways, no matter what it is, that's our power. That's who we really are. And the difference from when I had that revelation to just before that revelation was night and day. And yet I know this information, but I couldn't trace it. I couldn't see, well, where did you start this one, this particular bug? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more work to do, but that particular one was really bothering me. And it was like, okay, let's look. And then it was like, light bulb. So that was this last week. And it's been exciting to see how true it is that the work is within ourselves. That battle, it's a within battle. And everything that we've been trained for has been programmed for us to be fearful of everything, right? Some days vegetables are good for you, some days vegetables aren't good for you. Sometimes dairy is good for you, some days dairy isn't. And so who knows what's good or bad anymore? But if our thoughts think it's bad as we're ingesting it, for sure it's going to be bad. So it was just, I had to share that because it was such a revelation. And to have two witnesses watch me transform once that revelation came, oh, it was really amazing. Just amazing. So, yay. So that's all I have to share about this part of the journey. I can go on and on, but I see that we've got other people in here that may want to speak. And
well, if anybody does, let us know, and that would be good. But Libby, what you're talking about there, it's amazing how important that is to know the power of our thoughts, and then if we can manifest something like that.
We talked about it, thought pollution, right?
Yes,
Thought
that was the name of it. Yes, the thought pollution, absolutely, and that was exactly what you did. And but then when you turned it around, you were able to stop it in its tracks. And it's important that having those experiences, as much as you don't prefer to have them, it does help to get yourself back to remembering and recognizing what you actually can do when you think the things you do want, or the type of experiences you want to have. So yeah, that was really, really valuable to recognize that, have that realization, okay, what have I done to create this?
And that's the one, that's the experience of 100% self-responsibility, realizing, wait, Liberty, you did this to yourself. How did you do this? Because, oh, that did it. And yes, I'm going through a lot of grief. And so I thought at first it was experiencing the grief, and it probably had something to do with it. I mean, my system has been challenged these last 5 months, just from the effects of all the interactions I've had. And I've also recognized what a spoiled woman I have been until I no longer had my fresh water from the well, and the ease of life that I had in my own home, my own way of doing things, to floating from place to place, having to learn how to meld within other people's lives, and and feeling like I couldn't be me, because being me triggered people like crazy. And it's like, oh, how am I doing this? So that willingness to look, the sad part is not everybody's also willing to look at how, if they get triggered, they may want to look at that, right? So that's where I have felt like I have to really be more chameleon-like. And I don't want to be a chameleon, but when you have to fit in, like in your own property and your own home, you get to be what you are. But when you're out in society, there's a certain way you have to, and I like the way she manifesto was like, yay. But not everybody gets that. So learning to fit in. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it is a dance, that one, when you do have to enter others around you and you can't be completely the way that you would be in your full self, because you do have to consider the circumstances and adjust accordingly. Yeah. But one thing I find that I feel I do just automatically, but it's something to always remember, is to just feel that appreciation for whatever you get in the way of support and encouragement from others. Anything that they do to support, encourage, and the little things that do in the way of helping to get the things done you need to get. We all know, those of us that have gone the legal name route, we know that there's often times when we need to ask somebody to do something that we can't do without a legal name. And the people that have done that for me, I have so much appreciation for, that they are willing to do that. Debot, you're one of them.
Oh yes, Debot. Oh
He
my.
knows he's that for many people, and he has been that proxy for us. And the beauty of that was that he was, even though sometimes he kind of feels he would like to, stop using a legal name as well, he was there for so many people that without him, a lot of us would have struggled even further than we have. And there's him, I just named him because he's just helped me lately with something. And there's been many others who have helped. And it's just
So many.
amazing.
So, I mean, this is so true, sister. There's so many. We were chatting earlier about our virtual family. I would have gone insane without our virtual family.
Right.
Absolutely. And I would have starved to death. So now I realize, okay, I've landed. I better find ways to create and make money. And I'm getting more of my stuff back. It's really quite funny. For those of you who knew me when I did own my house, I had these butterflies behind my head before.
Yes.
That's been returned to me.
That's the first thing I noticed.
Oh,
Was about.
the little things that I thought I'd never see again are here again. And a lot of them I gave to Lorna, so I get to share them with her, but it's so much easier. It's like, because I've lost my attachment. I was so attached to stuff. And yet you do need stuff to cook, to make money with, or to some kind of currency. And so I'm actually getting my beads back tomorrow, and I think I have a standing order for 20 bracelets. It's like, oh good, another way to start making money, because it's like, I just paid my rent, I bought some food, and it's like, you know what, and I know not to panic, but that when you're back, when I'm not in the woods and I'm in this society, and it's, you got to pay for water here we have to pay for input water, and it's not potable, you can't drink it, and for exit of water, and for power, and internet fortunately is being contributed in a very nice way, but doing it 2/3, I only have to pay 1/3 of it. It's like, oh, this is so much more doable. But wanting to be able to do it, consistently, how do I generate money? Right now, I'm still hesitant. I'm hoping my pension does come in, but it's not a lot of money. And I'm excited to be back in the city, but at the same time, it's overwhelming at moments. Ooh.
Yes, it's a different
But
dynamic, isn't it? Totally different dynamic.
And I'm seeing the pattern. I see that around 9 o'clock, almost every night, there's a fire engine that goes by, or some kind of emergency vehicle, and just being at peace with it. That is a pattern being put out to put fear out. It's what's being done, and then to transmute it and say, okay, oh yeah, there's another.
Yeah, that's that. You kind of brushed by it earlier, and it's another one I want to remind us all of, is that thing about having, and Bob and I've talked about that a lot here too, is that a lot changes when you are aware of all that stuff, but you don't let it affect you. Like you were saying earlier, the water, I know that's there, but no thank you. I know Mia's alluded to that. It's definitely, I've had to sort of deal with a few things that I normally wouldn't eat, or the water's got chlorine in, stuff like that. I haven't had to deal with, like you were saying, and I feel that it makes the dynamic changes hugely when you become, okay, that could affect me, but you know what, no thanks, you won't affect me, and I'm grateful for what's good I can get out of you, but anything that's negative, that's not going to affect my body, my emotional body, my spiritual body, any part of me. And awareness, I always put that out there as a really important thing to have, and then to just let everything separate from where you are, because without focusing on the negative part, that takes away the negative charge. So that's where I'm at. It seems, for the most part, that I can see, it seems to work out okay. And just keep knowing that you'll be okay, that whatever is happening now, I mean, you've been through some rough patches, and although you're not completely in the most beautiful place you'd like to be, you're in a lot more of a comfortable zone than you have been over the last few months. And you're getting back to be in control of your life. You haven't got to ask permission, can I get on the internet, and those sort of things. And I think that we can know that, you know, you had that one night that you went to the shelter and you're like, that is not okay for me. I'm not going to manifest this any further. I'll be all right. Something will come up. And sure enough, look where you are now. A lot better than where you were that day. I mean, there's a big difference between being in a shelter and sharing an apartment with two decent friends.
Exactly.
So it's very hard. I can only imagine that where you were, because it was kind of trying to push you down and down, and you were like, oh, and then suddenly you're like, no, no, and get back to that. No, you know, it'll be all right. Something good's going to come. It's going to be okay. The right thing will come along. And learn about the timing for those two friends to be looking for a similar, and like you say, a three-way split. There's a lot. You know, you don't have complete privacy, but at least you've got your own room and nobody kind of looking around, see what you're doing every few minutes. And it's a case of just knowing that you'll be all right, and that things can, if you allow them, things will just get better and better from here on in. So that is a great way to go. And you have frozen on me, so I don't know where I'm at. I'm still moving, but I can't hear you at the moment. Oh, and Zoom has dropped.
Lucky you.
Listen to this. My entire life has been about synchronicities, even before I knew what synchronicities were. And I've got a picture here. This was painted by one of my sisters a long time ago. And I'm going to hold it up, see if we can see it. It's a car. You see the license plate? What does that say?
Trigger 90, Alabama, Trigger 90.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was painted in 1990. And the word trigger came up.
Wow.
So that's what you were talking about, a trigger being an authentic living being.
Yeah.
Triggers a response in people.
It does, doesn't it? It's not always what we want, but it does trigger a response.
Most definitely. And the number 9 is consciousness, is it not?
Yes, it is.
A 9 and a 0. That's just the number 9.
That's perfect.
Yeah, lots of synchronicities occurring in my life as usual, but it just seems to be on the uptick. A lot of 11-11s and 9-11s as usual. Just constantly occurring. It's been quite the experience lately. But I do have more stories. Would you guys like to hear more stories?
I do, but I have one question for you. Tell me about the benefits of potassium iodides.
The benefits. Well, what I see the supersaturated potassium iodide benefits being is primarily for the immune system, because the blood passes through the system which houses the potassium iodide. So, and from what I have read about that will actually cleanse the blood to some degree regarding viruses and bacteria.
Cool. I thought it was something along those lines, but I just wanted your clarity on that. Thank you.
Yeah. And so since I started taking that, I typically don't get sick. If I do get sick, it's very short-lived, especially with viruses. But I have something to say about vitamin C as well. Probably about 5 years ago, I started taking vitamin C because I came to the conclusion that it's highly anti-inflammatory. And one of the things that I experienced prior to taking big doses of vitamin C was the cold sores on the mouth, which is as I understand it, it's a herpes virus variant. But, cold sores and canker sores and stuff like that. So when I started taking mega doses of vitamin C, and we're talking about 10 grams a day, and within a year or so, I never had a cold sore again, and have never had a cold sore or a canker sore since. And the reason I started taking that ascorbic acid is because I didn't want to have clogged arteries. And my research indicated that the reason that we have clogged arteries and heart disease arteries and causes the
Okay, something's happening to your connection there too, Zero. I'm not sure what's going on, but keep talking. Maybe it will improve.
Yeah, mine just dropped off then. We had some thunder going on and then the internet dropped for those few moments. So that's what happened
Oh,
here.
I'm glad you're back here. Yay. Okay.
Yeah, you froze
So
up.
Zero, when you get back on, keep talking if you want, and you'll see if we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know if we can't hear him at the moment. Guess he'll come back. But yeah, that was quite interesting because this end I'm chatting away and I'm suddenly you're not moving anymore. And I'm like, wait, I wonder if you guys can still hear me. But obviously it was me that had dropped off at that point.
Yeah. I want to invite Rod to show us Naya and whoever's there because they've been jumping in and out. Yay! Hey! Hey, Naya!
There we are. Hi.
Hi, Naya. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Hi.
Oh no, wait. I'm just wondering.
Hi. Hi. Okay, wait. We'll get you back on there.
No, I don't want cotton over.
So Naya, you are doing well?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Hi, Ollie.
Hi.
Yeah.
Stop. I know where I was.
So I hear you guys have got some exciting changes ahead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 10. Yeah, we're moving. We're heading to our riverfront property. A friend is just letting us kind of pull our fifth wheel there, and we're gonna build an addition on about 30 wide, 12 or 30 feet long, 12 wide for the kids' bedrooms.
Wow.
And a connecting area, so we can go in and out. Ended up finding out there's an old house trailer there, and hubby and another guy went and checked it out, and it's in really, really good shape. So instead of building the addition, we're going to cut 30 feet off of it, strip it, cut 30 feet off, and the hitch and everything's in phenomenal shape, so it'll be movable when we need to go. So the whole thing can just be hitched up and drove down the road and parked wherever. Wow. So we're going to stay as long as for whatever. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's right on the river. It's called the McLeod River, and it's one of the cleanest rivers in North America.
Oh, wow.
They claim before it hits Whitecourt, a little town called Whitecourt, and then they, of course, just shoot every nasty shit in there. So we're up above that. So we're on the river before it hits Whitecourt. So it's really. So the kids can go, swimming and, hanging on they got a lot of work ahead of them. We got lots of cleanup to do, and the trailer's got to be taken out of there. But everything's there, the well, and back on fresh well water, and
Oh, I envy you.
power, and the whole thing. And then it's, $300 a month for 20 acres, actually 21.
Wow.
21 acres.
Wow. Oh, and the dogs will be welcome and happy. Yay!
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was a real issue because we started looking around, and one of the places that was willing to take us, there was a piece of paper they wanted Murray to fill out. And on that piece of paper, it states if somebody doesn't like your dog and they complain, you got 2 weeks to get rid of them.
Oh, my.
So I called her and told her, there's no way. I cannot do that. I won't sacrifice my animals for, our safety and what have you. There's lots out there. It just took some. And when I turned that down, the next day that happened. So, and we've known him for 20 years. We've known him. He was actually a teacher at the school and taught my kids, 2 of my boys, welding and math.
Oh, wow.
So he's been a friend for over 20 years. So we trust him.
Good. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Ra. And who knows? I might be out there by this spring.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good.
15-minute walk from downtown. 15-minute walk from downtown. So we're out of the chaos. More quiet. The only downfall is there's the fire range close, where they go and shoot their practice for hunting season, I'm guessing. So the noise of that.
Okay.
In Wiley, the wolf we had was shot by a farmer, so he can't handle that. Terrorizes him. Like, he can't deal with thunder or any big bang. So that'll get him used to it again because he's so fearful. And he'll realize, hearing that the odd time, there's nothing to run from, because he would just run. He was absolutely terrorized, like fearful of any noise like that after. But he, it was serious. He almost died. He lost half a foot and about 4 inches right down to the organs. So he almost died. And he's very scared of the noise now. So,
now you're saying that fire range is near you where you're going to be moving?
Yeah, well, it's not near us. We're hearing the noise of it because it's outdoors, right? It's not an indoor building. So at nighttime, it's not allowed. Yeah. And most people are working during the day. So you probably got the cops going down there and practicing. That's probably who's monopolizing that, the RCMP.
Okay.
So, yeah, so we hear, I guess we hear that quite a bit down there during the day.
Okay.
I will say, yeah, that's annoying to know that. But I want Wiley to get used to that too. I don't like that he's scared of thunder.
Yeah. Well, what I'm discovering, everything happens for a reason. And, whatever the challenge is, there's a gem in it, right? So, like you said, for Riley to get more used to it again, make his options bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Lots of room for everybody. There's no close neighbors.
Oh, nice.
Even off of the road, they're quite a bit. There's probably maybe 10 acres in between each of the neighbors. So we don't see anybody down there.
When are you moving down there for?
Well, Murray's down there right now, ripping, skinning it and stripping and ripping the deck off. And he's down there right now. The hubby's down there right now, starting to rip the trailer apart.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, already put an order in for everything that we're going to need. So it can just be a phone call made, and he'll go pick up everything that he needs, and should be built in 2 to 3 days. Right?
Oh, wow. Oh, yay.
We're gonna put a fireplace in there, like a wood burning wood stove in there. So I'll have both, or 3. We'll have the propane, and we can have gas if we prefer, and have fire. So there will be 3 heat sources, which is good.
That's,
Yeah.
And we have a nice generator.
that's some real manifesting you're doing there, Rob, isn't it?
Yeah, the right kind.
Good job.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, we're quite happy about it, excited, actually.
Cool.
Yeah, wasn't too excited about going to the city.
Yeah.
It's kind of accepting it, but it's not where I wanted to be. I haven't lived in the city in so long,
Right.
over 20 years. This is the first time that I've been off of well water.
Okay.
Is living in this town on town water, but we get the distilled and spring water. We get one of each in.
Yeah.
So, but this is the first time, and it's really strong. It's like, we don't even have baths in it.
Oh yeah, I'm
Have it.
taking fast showers. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
and my hands are getting whiter
Oh,
from
that's
what feels like.
beautiful. Yeah. It's nasty. It's just like walking into a pool.
I see
Yeah,
that
it is
Ciro
being
came back
on
on, so
Yeah.
maybe we can bring him back on, and or if you have any more stories you want to share.
No. Go
Okay.
ahead, bring Sarah. He was right in the middle of telling something.
Yeah, and then he dropped off too, so we'll just see if he wants to jump back
Yeah.
on. Are you around, my brother?
Hey,
Hey.
hey, Rob. Good to see you.
Hi.
Yeah,
How are you?
okay.
Hey, okay. Good to see everybody. I'm back. That was really weird. It was just a total shutdown over here.
After I had mine here, we had thunder, and then we got rain again. The second time since I've been here. And
Well, how about that?
Question.
You're
Just a
you're in
coincidence?
Arizona, where it doesn't rain, and I'm over here where it's supposed to rain, but it hasn't rained. We're in the midst of a major drought at the moment. A cloud in the sky.
right.
We shut down. How about that?
It's all backwards.
Weird.
Yeah, so I just to finish up, I was just saying the benefits of vitamin C, megadoses of vitamin C for insofar as anti-inflammatory, very important. Y'all should look into that if you're concerned about that. But anyways, moving on. Here comes Flint.
That's a good reminder, actually, the vitamin C, because the massive dose of his Flint. The massive doses of vitamin C are awesome. Flynn, hi.
Hey, Flint. Yeah, so I was wanting to tell you guys a story about today. Hold on, we might have another energy flare here. Hold on a second, let me get up.
Lots of energy flying everywhere.
Yeah, in this place, there's significant amounts of energy, which is, I don't know, I guess I was experiencing this at the police station as well when they had me in a cage, because it took them 6 days to do fingerprints, because none of the electronic equipment seemed to work there either. I don't know if it was me or the truth or what was going through the system.
Your magnetic energy.
Woohoo! I guess I just need to put insulators all over me so I don't cause these disruptions. So yeah, it was brought to my attention that that this thing about voter registration, and that I should look into making certain that I'm not a registered voter, or that thing, that legal name fraud, not a registered voter. And so what I did is I called, I've been in this place for probably about 16, 17 years. And so what I did is I called the voter registration people and said, is there a voter using the legal name and the legal date of birth in this area? And they said, no, there's not. So I have cut all strings to legal society and have no strings whatsoever to legal society. And this is the latest confirm I've had. that I'm not connected to the construct. So it's really important, folks, if you are looking to establish yourself as not being connected to the construct, to the matrix, to the legal system, you need to make certain that you're not being classified or being presumed or assumed to be a voter for the corporation. And that's something I never really looked into because I'm not political. I don't do politics. I think that's nonsense. But I wanted to make certain that no one else was presuming to be presuming the name that I once represented as being a voter. And so as of today, it's been confirmed that I'm not a voter. I don't have anything to do with with voting in corporate members, etc. So just wanted to share that with you. One other thing too, last week, somebody within our community died, a 17-year-old girl. She died in a car accident. And so I went to her funeral. And while I was at this funeral, the pastor of this church came up to me and he said, "What kind of bird does not fly?" And I said, "I don't know. What kind of bird?" "A dodo bird." "I don't know." And he said, "No, a jailbird." And I said, "Oh, that's interesting."
I think I know what he said, but I'll let you say it.
Yeah. And I said, "That's interesting because I flew very high." And it was well recognized that I was flying high and clear. And they didn't have anything to say to that.
Good for you. Yeah.
So, we're going on a month now from that particular engagement. I've never been in a cage before. For telling the truth, I've never been in a cage for telling the truth, that's for certain. And I've never been in a cage for any reason. But I've got no communication from these people who put me in the cage.
Huh.
And
Wow.
I would say there's a very good reason for that. And I would say the reason has a lot to do with the fact that I'm a living being, and they're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, people talk about status correction. And there's different ways to do status correction. And I think that my 11 days in a cage was my status correction.
I would tend to agree.
What's that?
I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah. So, it's kind of like, what are you going to do with the being that knows what it is?
Yeah.
Are you going to bring it in even more? And are you going to continue to bring the truth into the lie? No, I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so.
Uh-oh.
And also, I would say another thing to that, Eagle here,
There you go.
the kind of bird that does not fly is the one that doesn't need to, the one with no ego to prove that it needs to fly.
Yes.
There's
Very
that
good.
one also. And that shuts them up. I've had people say that. I had someone say that very thing to me, and I looked at them and just shook my head of, "Oh, forgive them for they know not what they do," and just said that. And it was a few days after I was released. And the dead cannot contact with the living. They cannot. So as living beings, they're never going to contact you or I or anyone whom they've attempted to force their legality down. So I'm in full agreement with you. The thing that gets me, for those who know what has occurred here, is that I have every tool, almost every tool I have used in the last 20 some years in that truck that they still hold. And so, yes, possessions are that, yet these are tools for helping others better their way. So I get the thing of possession release, yet the tools, I'm really having a challenge of releasing that. You see what I'm saying there?
Yes, I do see what you're saying, Eagle. And so what I'm thinking is, what's really important to see is that the dead cannot hold the living. And so you have not been held, but the tools have been. But the tools are but effects. They're dead. And so the dead are holding the dead. The dead are holding the dead. They're holding the effects. The effects are holding the effects. The cause, which is life itself, which is creation itself, that can't be held by an effect or by the dead.
And that's proven, yes. Okay.
And so see that what you seek, what you're seeking and what you're, there's a frustration here, and I get your frustration, but that's a frustration with an effect. You're the cause. If you need a tool, the tool will be there. If the tool is required, it's going to be there. But you got to put the energy that direction. This is why I've never asked for the conveyance back that's been stolen. And this is just my way. I'm not saying it's got to be everybody's way. But I went into this before I even had the conveyance that I was kidnapped out of, or I was abducted out of. I knew even before that time that this is not going to be an important thing for me. What's most important is the experience and the bringing of the truth of the legal name fraud, of the birth certificated person fraud to these people if need be. And that's what I did. When they got me, when they brought me in, that was my opportunity. That was my delivery moment that I could not have gotten any other way. And what you're doing, Eagle, in your interactions with these people is you're continuing to deliver the message of truth. And as long as they have this possession, they're going to continue to be subject to the truth as you deliver it. It's very fascinating. It's extremely interesting because it's a different way to, it's like creation is saying, well, the truth has got to get to these people, and this is how it's going to be done. This is how we're going to get the truth to these people, and you're doing it your way. I did it my way, and many others have done it their way. It's all different means of getting the truth to these people to remind them about what they are. They're living beings first and foremost, but they've been put into a situation where they've forgotten all of this knowledge. They've forgotten their hearts. And so this is a process of, and I guess in a roundabout kind of way, maybe directly and indirectly, to remind them about who they are and what their function is here. Because they were subtly deceived through generations, through time, time. And they will be reminded subtly and through generations of the truth until they come around. And we're already there. We're there, man. We are there. And our function is simply as a messenger. We're messaging them. We're saying, hey, this is the situation. So, but No need to get caught up in the tools and stuff because they're just the facts. They're dead. It has nothing to do with the living. Those tools would never have existed unless by means of a living being creating them. And so that's what's important. They can be recreated.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And improved upon.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're here for, is to plant these seeds of truth, and they will take root in some places, they won't others. That's not a problem. What's most important is that we tell the truth, and for some of us, we live the truth all the way. And that's where I am, by the way. I'm still in that. There's nothing has changed insofar as my status, the way I in fact, I was traveling roads today without any paperwork. It was great. I had no fear. When I was taken against my will, I had no fear at that time either. I just don't, this is just not a place that I visit. I don't visit fear a whole lot. It's just, I've been through that. And my place right now is to be that of a conveyor of ideas and of telling the truth regarding the fraud and deceptions that have been brought over us as living beings. And I don't really see a lot of reason to be fearful or really concerned about too much. I get the idea that there is a great awakening that's been in progress for a little while now, and it's accelerating. And it's more costly to be on the side of the sleeper as opposed to the awakened ones. It's more costly to be asleep than to be awake right now. There's been a great shift. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It does.
Yeah.
There has been a huge shift.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm grateful we're all at where we are at compared to the majority of people at this point, because we will be able to provide encouragement and support for them as they go through what we had to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this place, and we're experiencing this place. But there's many of us who are they're experiencing a counter place, an alternate reality that's been provided to them through these fictional creations. And that's been shown, that's been outed, and these fictional creations, they stand naked for what they are, which is nonsense. These are nonsensical ideologies and religions. And when I say religion, I'm specifically pointing to the Vatican, the temple bar priests who animate the will of the Vatican, all these ideologies, these false religions coming from these old entrenched demonic satanical will.
Okay. I think you were starting to go blobby there, so let's just keep talking and see if we can get you back on. Can you hear me okay? Zero? Okay. Jolly, are you around? I do see Let's see. I think I saw.
Hey there, what's up?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just bobbing around with this very slow thing that
Okay.
very quickly. I was just listening there though, and I'm working on the settings here. But yeah, that was some really great sharing there from Zero and Eagle. All of our experiences are different. I also, as everybody remembers, let go of a conveyance as well. Thankfully, it was one that I could afford to let go. But I do comprehend that having tools is something that is part of creation and creating for one who uses them for good. And really, the whole thing is ridiculous that they will hold into these things when they're just sitting doing nothing when they could be doing good. And that's a sad thing about, well, among all the other outrageous things that are going on to the system and rules. It's doing harm all the time. Those tools could be doing good. They could be creating beautiful things and giving great help to certain other living beings. And it's just sad that that is the way the system is. But yeah, at the end of the day, we just have to recreate. The creative beings that we are, we just have to remanifest and just say to the system, fine, okay, if you want to be more destructive by stealing stuff and holding back our ability to create, we'll go and create some more because we're the creators. And yeah, it's just a continuation of what it's exposing itself for what it is, the system, by holding these things that could be used. I mean, I have no idea what happened to that Jeep I had. It's probably rusting somewhere because it had no VINs on it, so I don't know how they could have used it or sold it or anything like that. So yeah, it's a tough old situation, this, but again, as Ciro mentioned, and I'm sure Equal feels the same, is that we'd rather have this physical conveyance than the one that
You are blobbing out there.
there's a lot of blobbing going on right now.
Yeah, there is. I did see Trisha and Erica jump in, and I believe that's our sisters from California. So if you want to jump in, Trisha and Erica, maybe you're not going to blob around. Let's just see. Are you?
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Greetings. How's everyone been doing? Good? Yeah.
We're doing great. How are you two doing?
Oh my God.
So much has happened.
We've been here in Northern California and we've been we've been creating every day. We're creating a wonderful reality. It's just
Amazing.
It
blows us away.
Oh, good.
The gifts every day just keep coming, pouring in left and right. Gosh, I don't even know where to begin. It's just, I want to say I love each and every one of you. I just love you. I love all of you, and thank you for being here for Trish and I. And wow. And now I'm getting emotional.
Erica's getting emotional.
What's the feeling of you guys?
Getting emotional because we know who we are, because all of our friends, we know who we are these days and are awake. We've just acquired a house to live in, a beautiful, charming, house, and
bedroom,
and
bath.
And it was given to us.
Family room, dining room, living room.
It was given to us freely by a sister friend who I haven't even seen for 35 years.
Wow.
And she's in a different state, and she inherited a house, and she gave it to us.
And we've been homeless for 12 years, about 12 years.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, to put it in a nutshell. So on and off there. So.
And the price of the house was that her brother was still living in it because they inherited it, and we had to get him out, and it took us 8 months, and we stood in truth the whole way.
Didn't have to give a legal name.
It's been amazing. We have been in Babylon,
out of Babylon,
without no ID, and no legal name.
And we went through court cases.
We went through Babylon. It's like it's been amazing. We've written affidavits of truth.
Yes, affidavits of truth work in every situation.
We've never needed a notary public.
Ever, not one time.
Not one time.
You can get paid from Nationwide.
Did you
Nationwide is on your side. Okay.
Did you
Yeah,
write?
what?
Did you handwrite those affidavits of truth?
Yeah.
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 That's why you don't need
This Jolly?
That's what I've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
From the living.
We wrote on binder paper, affidavit of truth. Yes. And just signed them with just a name.
Just a first
Just
name.
a first name. And
Yep.
submitted these to the court clerk, Lucifer. Her name was Lucy. Her name was Lucy. Okay? I'm not kidding.
Yellow Brick Road.
Yes. And it's just been amazing. Yes, her name was Lucy.
Wow.
It's been amazing.
And she's the nicest one.
We've been accused of practicing law without a license, but all we've really done,
Just stand up for
all
ourselves.
we've done is went into the courtroom and sent with handwritten letter and some pictures off a cell phone, because all we have, and said, please give this to the judge to read.
Please.
And he read, and we just told him in his letter that we stand in truth with Mother God creation herself.
Yes.
That's what we swear, and we wrote down that we just prayed upon it first, that the judge see the light and the truth, because that's all we've done is stand in truth. And I'll be damned
He
if,
was destroying the house.
and I'll be if the house wasn't taken away from the little brother and gifted to us.
And he's mad about it. But
Yes.
But he was destroying the place, and he'd been arrested here 8 times, and he, he wasn't paying the rent on it, and he was costing a lot of people money, and, and he just needed to go. So it took us 8 months to actually get in here, and yeah, we did it all without even without one legal name, and they didn't even ask.
That is fantastic. That is brilliant.
fantastic.
That's a really big story.
To Lonnie, who gave us the house, we were kind of complaining a little bit about this man that we were staying with, and we said, Lonnie, he's crazy, I don't know why he's yelling at us or whatever. And she says, well, you're gonna have your own house now, so don't worry about it. So the owner of the house would call us every so often and say, are you home yet? Are you home yet? Are you home yet? And we finally arrived, so we're very happy right now.
Wow. Oh, that is such a great story from the heart. Yay!
Mm. My heart is.
And also, I want. Okay. Sorry.
Uh-oh. I don't know whose phone that is.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but
My
we're
phone's
hearing
doing
the
some
phone ringing.
weird stuff
Yeah.
here. It's like
Of course,
buzzing
the
and
truth
beep.
is being said.
Okay. If you get in a hit and run, or not a hit and run, but if you get hit in your conveyance, your private conveyance, remember this, that it only takes an affidavit of truth to have them send it to wherever you want to get your money. You don't have to show title. You don't have to show registration.
They know all this.
You don't, do they? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
They know that. No, they don't know that we did it, but they know that you don't really need it, I'm sure.
Yeah. So,
No,
it was
we're
great.
glad.
Yeah.
So the affidavit of truth, how long was it? What did you say? Just that you stand in truth?
Well, we had to keep it kind of short.
Okay, well,
We didn't want to bore
we've done 2 of them. One for the courthouse, verifying that we are telling the truth regarding this house,
And one to fix our automobile.
and one for we got hit in our private conveyance, and we got paid by Nationwide Insurance, as where I have no license, we have no registration,
No,
we have no insurance, we have no current tags, we have no title in our name,
I even offered to pay her.
We have none of that.
Offered her
and
to
we
pay her.
actually got paid off. With them telling us we had to have title, we had to have DMV paperwork, we had to have. We wrote the affidavit of truth,
stating who we bought the car from.
stating yes,
And that it is it's ours. We own it.
and it's our personal conveyance.
And yeah, and we don't have to sign with DMV to prove that we own it. you know. So
Oh,
that's basically.
beautiful.
And we got
beautiful.
money credited to a friend's bank account.
Yes.
That's fantastic. That
Yeah,
is
I don't know if we can do it.
fantastic. Yay, what a
Yeah.
great share.
We're having a hard time hearing him. Sorry, our phones are really, I think they're just outdated or something. But
Oh, well, I'm really
Yeah.
glad you did share. That's fantastic.
Wonderful.
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
As far as the house goes, what's happened here was my friend's mother passed away and she inherited the house. And so my friend is in Washington and we're in California. And so all we got from her was a handwritten letter saying that she authorized us to stand in her place regarding this home. And each time that I've talked to anybody in Babylon, at court, at anywhere, I just had said, I am here representing so and so. And that's all they've never asked me for my name
Or a name.
or
Anything.
They just accepted the paperwork that we just
Or that we were there in
yes, and they
person,
just
you know.
accepted who we are. I mean, they accepted that we're there. We just said we go running in. We're like, truth is here. Swear to God, we're running in with papers in our hand, like, give us to the man. Truth is here. We've even said that. We come with the truth.
Pronto.
We come with the truth, and we give it to them. And we've YouTubed all this. It's been
YouTubed it
amazing.
all.
And next thing we know, the house, the brother had to be moved out, and
Yeah.
it was just amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
You two are fabulous. I love your energy. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this with us.
Oh, thank you.
Keep going if there's any more. I'm loving it.
You're welcome.
You two are like, your energy is
Last
just
year first.
bouncing through the airwaves. you two are standing together.
Last year we were hungry. Oh, you know what happened was last year we were hungry and we didn't have hardly no funds for food. And so we went to the church here and asked them if they had some food, and they had hooked us up with some donations and said we could come back anytime after 2. And since then
They gave us our own day.
we've given us ourselves a name, Mother God Creations, and we go
deliver food.
once a week, definitely on our day is Monday, and we pick up food now. We fill our whole entire car full, and we feed over 130 people here in town.
That are hungry.
Donated food that otherwise would have went to waste, and we intercept it every week and feed 130 people and delivered ourselves and everything. And so it's just been wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now we have
hungry, now we're
and
not.
it's all organic food.
We're just overflowing with food
Yes.
right now.
And they're like, who are you from? We're like, Mother God. You know,
Yeah.
creation.
Looks at us all,
Yeah.
Oh, I go, yeah, remember?
Remember the mother.
Do you
Yeah.
remember her?
Mom's up there.
that is so cool.
It's been wonderful.
It's so much fun.
Do you
It feels like
It feels like a dream because it's like we're still in the dining room. We haven't even moved our bed to the bedroom yet. You know, it's like because we're so used to living in such a small area at a time that it's like, wow, we have a whole house. We can spread out, you know, and
we have organic mature fruit trees. I just picked a pomegranate yesterday.
and we have a guest room, and we're gonna have a guest. We're gonna make another room into the garage, and we're gonna help.
Yeah.
We're gonna help.
Yeah. You said you mentioned you had some YouTube vids. What's your link? What's the name of your YouTube channel?
What's the name of the YouTube?
I think it's Mother God, isn't it?
That makes sense.
or it might be
Mother God Creations or
It's Play Lane Staley Daily. It's a hard one.
It's called Play Lane Staley Daily. It's kind of hard. I'm sorry about that.
That was made a long time ago. Yes. We have all the videos
can
on
you spell
there
it
too.
out? Plain?
It shows the house.
As
It
in-
shows.
Yeah, it's holding our signs.
Yeah.
Easter Bunny.
It's the
and-
same link that Erica does her legal name
Okay.
fraud videos on. If
Okay.
you've ever seen those.
Well, I've got a new computer on here, so I don't have any old links. So I'm just trying to see if we can find something.
Yeah,
good.
Play Lane Staley. I believe it's under the. Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you say it
Because
one
some of the
more time?
illegal name fraud. We only have a little cell phone. We don't have a computer, and so we are doing all this through our little Metro crack screen phone. Yeah. So, anyways, it's under Play.
Play.
Yeah, Lane, Layne, Staley, Staley, daily at gmail.com.
Ooh, okay.
He's got a great voice. I love to play Lane Staley daily.
Yes, and I can't believe the smart. You guys hear about the smart meters? Do you guys have any smart meters up there or
Yeah.
out where you're at?
Oh, we've certainly heard about them.
Oh, they're hazardous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're real hazardous. We're going to start a coalition on that. We're going to start going door to door around here because it's bad. You know, I'm really sensitive to that stuff, and you know, I want to be able to live healthy, and I want everyone else around me to live healthy and be happy. And I mean, we were gone. We left in the morning the other day to go run some errands, and the PG&E's been on here since we moved in, since the 5th. And so we didn't feel the need to like switch it over real quick because we were testing out the air conditioning and everything, you know. And we go run some errands, and we come back to the house, and there's a PG&E truck parked in the front of our house. And so, oh, that's odd, you know. So we get out, and I go around back. The only way that they're able to get to the meter is to go around to the back of the house. They can't go through the side gate because there's a lock on it. And I see the lady there, and she has a smart meter in her hand.
Oh my.
Or actually, she had my analog in her hand, and then she had the smart meter in her hand. And I said, "Please, what are you trying to do? Kill us?" And she looked up and she goes, "No, no." I said, "Those kill people." I go, "What are you doing?" I go, "Oh my gosh." I go, "I can't believe it." I started freaking out, ma'am. I said, "Put my analog back on this house." You know, and she did. She put it back on so fast, you know. But man, they were just so fast to just come in here, you know. As soon as someone put it on there, you know, before the new people get to the house, you know, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad that she put it back on. Thank God.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Well, good for
Yeah.
you.
Dance. That was a good dance.
She didn't want me to like talking to her about it, you know.
Good for you. That's really cool.
Oh.
Well, check your water meter. Check your water meter as well.
Okay.
'Cause
Oh,
they're
they
doing
got
that.
one there
They're
too,
doing-
huh?
They're
doing that
water
too, yeah.
meters too? Oh, geez.
Yeah, you'll see a little deal on top of there's a cover usually over the water meter or something. You'll see a little hockey puck type thing there, and that changes the chemical structure of the water as well.
Oh, we're on a
I had
well.
that same-
Does it still have one?
Oh, you're on a well. Never mind then. Okay, you're good.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
but you
wells
can,
are
but you
great.
can, yeah, but you can add that to the thing about the smart meter stuff, your coalition thing too. As
I
far
will.
As water goes.
I will do that. Thank you for that information.
Yeah, yeah, and the water meter one is actually called the Neptune 900.
Oh, the Neptune.
I dealt with the water company in Chandler, and they came over one day. The water department, they wanted to switch it. I told them no. They said, "Well, I have to follow orders." I said, "Well, then give me the number of your supervisor. I'll call." By the time I called, they moved down the street. But within the next couple of days, when I wasn't there, they still came by and switched it. And a guy from the water department came over and gave me a little 2-page thing of frequently asked questions about the Neptune 900. Didn't give me intelligently asked questions about the Neptune 900. He gave me frequently asked questions about it. And it was very interesting because if you do the math on that, it says that it only goes off like 2 minutes a day, but it pulses at like 8 milliseconds. And so I did the math, 8 milliseconds into a second times 60 seconds times 2 minutes a day, and it goes off like 800,000 times a day or something like that. So it's like a machine gun going all day long. Yeah, and they came and they took that meter back out and put the So do the math. So anyway, cool. Hey, great news. Awesome for you guys. Sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see you guys as soon as I get gas money.
Oh,
Okay.
that would be so nice. Yeah. Yeah. Soon come, I hope, Bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so exciting to get updated from you too, because I've wondered what's been happening with you.
Yeah, we've been
So
all over this town, you know.
yeah.
We've been
Have you
all
caught
over
up with
this town
Roar?
over here.
I know
Huh?
I think Roar's still in LA.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I think so.
Rory's
So
in LA, Trish.
I
Well, she's
think
not far. Yeah, she's not far at all. She has
no.
to come.
So
My daughter moved down that
we gotta get
way.
you hooked up with D-Bot because D-Bot knows, I think, has your phone number. But anyways, I'm sure you'll all get together because we are growing and growing. And as Ciro pointed out earlier,
Yeah.
people are waking up. And, you know, you two are certainly doing your job of waking them up. Wow, look at you go.
Yeah.
And holding it
Yeah.
want, right? Holding it, that's so good. Yeah.
Really fantastic. Yeah. Wow. This is so cool to be connecting back up the family from all over, that we've all sort of been through various sort of experiences, and any time that you get to come back and share your stories, this is what we're here for, and this is why I'll keep this going as long as I possibly can, whatever happens, you know, that it's a beautiful home base for the family. I just appreciate all of you, every single one of you that's here once, twice, 100 times, just to have your energy. And I really feel your energy, you two. I mean, wow, it's like pulsating through the audio here. I'm just feeling the energy from you, and that what you've been able to do by showing and proving yourselves that you're living. You know, Ciro's done the same, Eagle's done the same. You know, I've done the same. It kind of turns out, again, I think my handwriting, my truth into those system places, that it showed them that I'm living. I know that I'm living. I know that they're dead and I can't communicate with them. And as a consequence, they've said, okay, see ya. And I suppose to a certain level, I've done a stage of correction in that. I think I want to kind of build on that. But I do feel that every insertion of this truth by handwriting, and I thought at the time, Cynthia helped me with this completely, and she said, you have to write at the top of it at arm's length. And you're like, because I'm writing, you know, a dead entity cannot write at arm's length or at any length at all. And anything that's typed potentially can be typed by an AI.
That's
But if
right.
you're writing in with handwriting, and that's why I asked that question, did you handwrite? When you said any notary public, I knew that because you do not need a notary public when you handwrite it, because it proves that you are you and you're alive and this is you. And again, it goes back to, you don't need a name because you're proving that you are alive. And
That is so amazing.
no other signature can do.
I didn't even know that part. I just know that everyone said we had to get a notary, and my friend Lonnie, so I was as children. I've been seeing this woman since I was 15. For 35 years, I haven't seen her, okay, the one that gave us this house. But she is in a wheelchair because she is a cancer survivor, and the chemotherapy put her in a wheelchair. And so she's in Washington, 1,000 miles away, and in a wheelchair, so she cannot be here. And so everyone's like saying she can't even get to a notary. And everyone said it has to be notarized. Oh, I just believed that we could do this ourselves, and we just had her handwrite that she only gave us my friends Trish and Erica to stand in my place all the way through. It's been 8 months. It's been amazing. And like you said, handwritten. I didn't even think about that. And then the same things that we write, and I have pretty bad handwriting too. And we're talking just on note paper, handwritten, and that's how we done it. And that's probably that's amazing, because then it's like we've just been carried. We have just been carried all the way through. It's just Mother God. I mean, creation, it takes care of us every day, every day. I mean, we even also we have musical instruments now when we play with the band, and we don't even know how to play music instruments at all.
But you do it.
We're making the most beautiful vibrations, and we're playing songs, and people are going, "You're in a band now." We're like, "Yes." I play drums. Erica plays bass. We have a bass and drums. We just have gotten it
This is
in our music room now, and we play songs with this man. We just like And it's like we're creating. It's like we leave there and we go. It's like we're just making this up. And it's so powerful, and when we get together, we're so powerful. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Wow, that is really,
I
really,
can't believe it.
yeah.
I do believe it. I do believe it. I'm having the best time believing it. We haven't stopped smiling for
There you go.
months.
You're manifesting and creating so many things right now. You see, this is what this is about. This is about sharing these stories, because your story can infuse somebody else to just keep going, keep going and not give up, and know that it is possible to manifest such things. I mean, look what you've manifested, a house. I mean, this is like, most times, you had to keep going with it, but you did it. You didn't give
And
up.
it has a white picket fence. It actually has the whole house on the whole street has a white picket fence. It has a wishing well out front. I mean, it's got a quarter acre, a well, hardwood floors.
I'm going to come and visit you
It's
next.
just beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm going to come and visit all of you guys again. I'll come back to Arizona, back visit everyone, and then I went to California. Somebody else said if you're coming all the way to California.
Our door is always open. Our door is always open to anybody here in Santa Rosa. Yeah, Northern California. Our door is always
Santa
open.
Rosa, that's where you are. I love Santa Rosa.
Yes, Santa Rosa.
I studied herbology up there. Yay.
Oh, wow.
79. Wow.
At Luther Burbank?
It was called the California School of Herbal Studies, and it was based in Santa Rosa and Gurneyville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, you've been here before. You got to come back.
There you go, Libby.
Beautiful house with hardwood floors. Yes.
Keep saying it.
Cool.
Yeah, we can't. We're amazing.
It's marijuana and music.
Yeah, we found that the key is marijuana and music. Another God.
That's a good key.
Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, now I see that. Is that Nina? Our Nina?
Huh.
That's up there. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to make sure we get all the callers who have anything that they say to Nina's mic.
Just joined
Oh.
her. Don't know if she wants to talk, but
Okay, I thought her microphone was open. So, wow. Anyways, you can keep on going, Trisha and Erica.
That's Lotus. That's Lotus.
Oh, that's Lotus. Okay.
That's Lotus. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, I just realised that's the ID she's got on here. I remember that.
Okay.
So yeah, this is beautiful, all of you. I don't know if Sarah's got anything else to add, because I think he got dropped off the last time again, and we've got Eagle and Bird here too. So anybody that wants to jump on, just feel free.
Yeah, just jump on in, because we've got just under half an hour to keep going. But oh God, what a great share, Trisha and Erica. And anybody else
love it.
ask some questions, because our sisters are rocking. Oh, Bird, you want to say something?
That's for sure. I can add some more there. When Sarah was talking about seeing 11s and 9/11 and all these different things there, I have a little book that was a gift given to me by a close friend, neighbor back when I was in the Phoenix metro area, and it's called Angel Numbers 101. And I'll just read a couple things for 11 there. Maybe Sarah's listening, or maybe he'll hit a replay or whatever. 11 is stay positive. Your thoughts are materializing rapidly, so you want to ensure positive outcomes by focusing only on the good within yourself and others and all situations. And then he said 9/11, so I had to pull that one up too. Here, I'm flipping pages here for it. It's really good. It's all about positive. We're meant to see these numbers. Creation is showing us these numbers. We have to identify with them, because we're getting messages all the time as to what creation is sending us. And 9/11 is very important that you keep a positive mindset concerning your spirituality-based career ideas. Positive thoughts are your most important asset to you right now. So that's great that he's seeing 11s. It's awesome. And then he mentioned voter registration as well, which is great. I think that's pretty important too, as far as anyone getting rid of the legal name and all that. That is your little that's a little trap that they set for everybody.
Anyone who hasn't, I think as far as the legalese system, with their little 7-year statute of limitations type thing, I think if you haven't registered to vote for 7 years, I think you're probably all right. You've set your own precedent for that. Otherwise, there may be some stuff you want to maybe do, such as your affidavit of truth or declaration or root of truth, or however you want to pursue it, just to make sure that you're not in that realm of all that garbage. Great show. Love everybody. Love the sharing. Happy for everyone with all the great stuff that's happening with everyone out there. Creation does indeed have all of our backs. Always has, always will. So that's pretty much all I'm looking at here as far as sharing with you guys. But yeah, clear things up if you feel you need to. Stay focused on those numbers. If you want angel numbers 101, Google it and check it out. I don't know. It's just kind of some stuff I dabble with. I love all of you. Carry on. Keep rocking and rolling.
Thank you, Bird.
Glad to be a part of it.
Thanks. Yeah. What an awesome group tonight. You guys are just rocking it. Absolutely. I mean, it's so many great stories. And this is, again, like I said, it's about stories and, sharing what we experience. It just keeps us all going. It keeps us empowered that we know that all these things are possible and we can teach by example. And this is the conversation I've been having here with Barb, is that the more we show it's possible to create our dreams, basically, the more people can start to recognize that it is possible if you change your beliefs and your thoughts. Thought pollution, Libby. I've said it over and over, but it's so important for me to remember, all of us to remember, is that our thoughts and our beliefs create our life experiences. And the day I learned that, I'm standing there looking at this with my mouth open saying, that explains my life. Because I could remember, I knew what my thoughts and beliefs were all the years that I was stuck and trapped in that existence that I didn't want. And I believed that I was stuck there and there was nothing I could do about it. And that was exactly why I was experiencing it. Once I realized that, I started, it took me a while to find myself again, but it was a real beginning to start to get me back to where I wanted to be, because I realized that if I believed all those things, they were going to happen. And again, the power of belief, like you said, Libby, earlier, was that you believed that for a moment. And
it was just a second, and yet it kept coming back up every time I saw a gray tuft. And it only was like going by looking, how did I do this? Step. Oh, there, right there. That was the thought that just triggered big thought pollution. So it's important when things aren't going well. And I was trying to think for Spirit Eagle, if the thought of not having his tools was so frustrating, and understandably so, totally get that. But if he could perhaps shift that a little bit to, wow, I wonder what new tools are coming to me, or, shift it so it's no longer them that are making him feel bad because he shifted it, and they're stuck with all these great tools, but he's going to have even better tools come to him. Something to bring it back to that place.
Yeah.
Because, and yet what Cyril said as well about that is every time he connects with them, he is planting seeds of truth. But it'd be interesting if he sent them David of truth, what would happen? So, I don't know, Spirit Eagle.
Yeah, that is always possible. Yeah. There's nothing to lose by writing. I did actually write something myself, just to see if I could shift them with the Jeep they'd stolen. But I decided, there was no response to it. But there also was no, as was threatened, that the legal name would be prosecuted for taking the bins off. And that was threatened, but they didn't follow through with that either. So I decided I was happier with this vessel, conveyance, than the wheeled conveyance, and I could do without it, and I had the little wheeled conveyance anyway. So I decided it wasn't worth my my energy to argue with a system that's completely fucked up and broken anyway. But at the same time, you know, all of us, every time a communication is had, another insertion of truth is put in. So there's no wrong anywhere. All of it is the way we do it.
It's all right, yeah.
Like Ciro said, you know, he probably got that conveyance because the other one he has is a bit more useful. It's a pickup track, and it was better. This one was stolen than that one, and you know, it just again it gives us an opportunity to take all sorts of different paths. And for me, not only was it not worth pursuing to try and get it back, I was able to practice the whole concept of not being possessed by my possessions. And people couldn't believe that I was willing just to let that go. I loved that thing, and I'd had it a couple of years, and I'd had so much fun in it. I'd always wanted something like that. And anytime it was warm enough, I drove it without no roof, no doors, whole lot. And it was just so much fun. I'd always wanted to do that, but I was going to have to part with it anyway because I was going to start traveling like I am now. I couldn't have brought two of those things with me. I've only got one little thing now. So again, as it worked out for me, and I didn't actually lose anything from it because it had all been factored in with all the loan fraud anyway. So I just walked away from the whole lot, and that was my experience. But you know, each one of us again has, there's no right, there's no wrong.
Oh, yeah. And the tools, I totally get the tools. I mean, that's Spirit Eagle's way of making his resources more abundant. So it's like, and he wants to help people with that, with those tools. But I was just trying to see if there's a way, because when you look at how can I go forward? If this isn't working, how can I go forward? It's like those Trisha and Erica manifesting the house. This is a fantastic thing. So I'm seeing you, Spirit Eagle, hopefully you're listening, manifesting even better tools than you ever had. And maybe even, I know the horse is a special horse, and I do get that.
I get that.
That's that part too. So it's a hard one. And but let's
but it will be what it will be, and it will be whatever it is, and all of it will have some purpose along the way. So you know, whoever gets the gem from it, somebody will in some way. So yeah, it's just such a journey, all of this, and for the most part enjoyable. Again,
yeah, there are days.
There's days when it's not enjoyable, but when you've kind of got through that day, you're like, well, there's the gem, I'll have that, thank you very much.
Oh yeah. And to look for the gems, you know, it really is.
And you are the gem finding queen.
I go looking. Sometimes I think, where the heck is the gem in this one?
This time, I need to find it. Yeah.
I had a great experience too last week. I think it was last week. Yeah, it was. We ended up going to this beautiful Crystal Crescent beach, which has got a nude beach in it. And we met some delightful people. And it was just so much fun to be around people that felt free enough to be naked and swim in the ocean naked and just frolic around. And it's a totally legal nude beach. Like it's way, you have to walk quite far. And there's all kinds of coves. But that was a wonderful experience. And I met a young woman from Montreal who speaks French. So I thought, wow, I got a new friend too, because now that my significant other has moved along, I have no one to speak French to. And so now I found a new friend who speaks French too. So it's like, okay, there's another gem. Lots of gems in our life. Uh-oh. I think you're muted, honey, and you're talking.
You're quite right.
Okay.
We do indeed need to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear these gems. And when we do, it's just a beautiful thing when you're suddenly like, oh, that's why that happened. That's why I did that. You're like, why am I doing this? This just seems a bit stupid at the moment. And they say, like, oh, that's why I did that. Oh, that's cool. That was really, sometimes when you don't even realize your subconscious or your big self is actually taking over. And sometimes I'm thinking, why am I doing this? This is like, doesn't seem, and then I suddenly, oh, that's why I did that. And that's really cool when that happens. I really like that when that happens. Yeah. So yeah, all together, the whole thing, if we can make this an adventure and that we can look back and see the gems after those uncomfortable moments have passed, that's fantastic, you know. I mean, I can't believe how brilliant a time I had in New Orleans when I was just willing to hunker down for the night in the station. And then I just thought, you know, what if I can find, I wasn't willing to spend 100 something bucks or even $80 for a night, which was what I was seeing for hotels and things. I thought, well, what if I have a look and see what's, you know, budget accommodation in New Orleans, and bingo, this thing comes up. I go and stay there. I go in this restaurant for a lovely meal, and that wasn't even that expensive. And I had the most fantastic time, having thought I would just be hunkering down in a rail station for the night. And then everybody was helpful. I got to the station next morning in time to put my bike in this famous box, and I'd forgotten to bring the flipping pedals fan. And I duh. So this guy comes over from the packaging and the luggage area, and he's like, yeah, we got to get the pedals. I'm like, shit, you know. He's like, and he goes to get his tools, and lo and behold, right on the top of the toolkit was the very spanner I needed to get the pedals off. And it just happened,
Wow.
you know, and it's instead of like panicking, saying, oh my God, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And then he's just there, and then it was the first tool out of the toolbox was the one that fit.
Perfect.
So things just become easy when you don't kind of get all kind of aggravated about it and agitated and panicky. You're sort of like, oh, this is not right, then, oh, what am I going to do? And suddenly, oh, there we go, that's what we're going to do. And it changes the whole dynamics of the situation, I've found, and it keeps happening. I mean, the things sometimes don't go 100% right, but again, like you say, after that's happened, you're like, oh, that's why that happened. I mean, I've had a whole lot of things trying to create this whole summer, and it's taken way longer than I had expected it. But I've just said, okay, that's all right. That's just going to take longer than I thought. And instead of getting frustrated with it, I'm like, okay, let's just let that go and wait for it to happen. And then everything just fell into place, and everything's really starting to fall into place. And when I go back to North Carolina, I'm going to head over to Asheville, which is where I do envisage kind of having a living haven, and looking to see what I can manifest over there. I get to meet some more brothers and sisters, hopefully. Nee is one who I really hope to be able to got in contact with, and he's a beautiful soul, and his family. And there's Giles Sparks is over there as well, and a couple of other people I know from other kind of groups. So, and I really feel that that is a beautiful energy area. A lot of people living the type of way we choose to live in, up the mountains, off the land.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, my experience so far in North Carolina, that area, it's so abundant with energy because the trees. You know, without trees, we have less oxygen. You feel like you're floating there because there's trees just everywhere you look. I mean, it was originally just a massive forest. They've had to clear a certain number to build on it. So I really feel that as much as I'm always going to be a traveling spirit, my little base is going to be in that area up the mountains, as far away from the craziness as possible, with a flowing stream to keep the employment going. You can send our movers down the stream. I've got a lot of great positivity for that. And the other good thing, it's near to my friend Sheila, where I've been staying. It's not that many hours, maybe 4 from where Ciro is. Hey, we're seeing you opening a mic.
Is that Lotus?
No, I think it's Bird or Eagle again.
Oh, good.
Unless they did it by accident, but I'm just seeing their icon come up, so in case they've got something to add.
I noticed if you want to jump in here, oh, would love to hear from you, sister.
We always love hearing your voice.
Yeah.
I just unmuted.
Yeah, we got you.
Hi.
Hi, how's everybody?
We're great.
It's interesting to hear you talk about letting stuff go. I have to let go of so much. It's actually funny. I can laugh at this. Trying to get my things back to the mainland. And 4 years ago, the most I ever paid for any one box was no more than $40. And so here, on this little island, and probably just about everywhere else, the U.S. Postal Service prices have jumped through the roof. And so I decided to go and see what UPS and Federal Express had to offer as far as sending. So I went to Federal Express, and they said that to send a box the size that we were talking about with no more than 25 pounds would be $111. I just burst out laughing. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I just started laughing, like saying, I said, "Are you serious?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "Now, if you had something like 500 pounds to send, you could send 500 pounds of stuff for just $200. And I'm like saying, "I don't have that kind of stuff. Okay, you hear me?" And I'm like saying, I looked at my partner. I said, "You see this?" I'm saying, "This is terrible. This is actually, it's not terrible, but this is ridiculous." And I just burst out laughing. So then we went to UPS, and UPS said, "Well, to send a box would cost $87." And I just burst out laughing again. I said, "Wow." I said, "Things have really changed." And she said, "Yes, all the prices have just really gone through the roof." So now I have to decide. My main things that I want to get back there are the food utensils, the processor, the juicer, and the blender. Those things are what I'm trying to get back. So I called the airlines to see if you could send a box. You can send a box, and it would be as extra baggage. So first baggage is 25, the second is 35. But then there are allowances that what can go into a box. So I went to look at the allowances, and it says no household goods. And so I'm like saying to myself, well, what the hell are household goods? So is that chairs or, pillows and stuff like that? So I'm going to make another phone call with them and find out what constitutes household goods, because I don't want to, I would not want to have that there and they x-ray it and they say, "Oh, these can't go." So I'm like saying, okay, I best find out first, and before I do that. So I said to him, I said 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna have to bite the bullet on this one and just go ahead on and send them and just pay probably over $100 to get them there, because they're worth more than that. So yeah. So it was just so interesting to see how the changes in how everything is being locked down. And I'm like saying, and that's what made me laugh. I mean, because it's just getting so crazy every day. It's something else. And I'm like saying, you can't get upset about it because it just is what it is, So my whole thing of it is to get back to the mainland and off of this island. Ever since, well, the island is probably the best place for you to be. I said, I want off of the island. So, that's what I want to do. I said, because this island is only 78 miles. That's all you have. So, once you've seen everything, there's nothing else to see. And to fly to the next island, two-way, is at least $200. To hop over from one, or you can take the ferry. I think it's like $60 each way, but the ferry only goes twice a day. So, you have to plan for that. So I'm saying, no, let me just take my little self right on back over there where I'm familiar with everything and don't have to, worry about getting from point A to point B. But what interests me the most is I came in on the last part of that when Erica and Tricia were talking about the stuff for the vehicle and stuff like that. Because my son wants to get me a vehicle, and I have to try and figure out, how that's going to work and everything like that. So that's why I was asking if there was going to be a replay of the video so I can hear, but then I still have to understand what was done to allow that to happen, wherein DMV would not be concerned about there not being any registration, license, or anything like that on that vehicle. Because he knows where I stand. Yeah. So, that's a piece that, might be a little stumbling block between his ego and where I am. You know what I mean? So,
Oh gosh, yes, I know.
yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because it was just too funny to not share. Really.
Thanks so much. It's lovely to see you too. And
yeah, it's good to see you guys
see you in October at some point. And I'm
October the 26th. I should be there the 27th. No, the 26th, because I leave here on the 25th, and I should get there on the 26th. I think that's it. Yeah, somewhere around there. That Sunday, whatever that Sunday is, I will be there in the evening. Yeah.
Right. So, well, we'll keep in touch because I'll be around somewhere in North Carolina at that point. So.
Okay, that's fantastic. That would be great. Awesome.
Really great.
Yeah.
Ciro might even come up. I can see Ciro coming over too to get together. So we'll work.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Totally awesome. Yeah. Libby, it's a shame that you won't be there.
Well, you never know. You don't know anything, you know. That might be just a seed to get me there somehow. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know.
It's possible, right? Anything's possible. So we can
maybe somebody can mail me in a box.
It'll be a bit uncomfortable, but it might be worth it. You never know.
I saw the idea and I thought, no, actually, I don't want to go that way.
On the train, it's in one of those, I'd say.
Yeah.
Looks like we're running out of time there, sister. Should we?
Yes. Yeah. We'll kind of head out. I'm gonna play our
We Are Family.
Family.
Oh, good.
Because we really are family. It's been a really family show tonight. I've really enjoyed everybody's hearing. It's been really, absolutely fantastic. The stories that you guys have all shared tonight. I am just so grateful for that. So absolutely, we're gonna go for that. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to play We Are Family. And
I'm going to say thank you to everybody. And love everybody. Oh, Lotus, Ciro, Bird, Trisha, everybody. Erica, Ra, kids. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. We love you all. And we'll be same place, same numbers, everything, same everything next week. Thank you.
Okay.